Okay, take two. Sorry about that. It was quite clear to me that that wasn't going to work. As soon as I pressed the button, they're some of the things that happen from time to time. But great to have you with us as we have our Saturday morning chit-chat. You're going to need one of these because we're going to spend the next hour together having a bit of a chat about things that are on your mind. I can tell you some of the things that are coming up for me. And I can also report that as I speak, we have quite a bit of rain this morning on the island of Phuket. So it looks like, well, at least on this island, we've had the arrival of the wet season. And I noticed in some of the media that they were saying, the wet season will arrive on Monday. Well, we've got in early here in Phuket. Probably for the past 3 or 4 days we've had a few showers in the morning. But today there's probably been a little bit more rain than there has been sunshine. I've got a cat here somewhere. Got the cats going crazy. Anything could happen today. As I signalled a little bit earlier, it's going to probably be the last of our Saturday. What's going on? Dina. Oh dear. It's going to be the last of our sort of live Saturday shows, the sort of regular weekly program. Nick is currently in Europe with his family. And so it's not easy to find somebody to co-host with. These Saturday morning programs by myself are quite stressful as I try and read the stories, as I try and go through the comments, as I try and make sure the technology is working. All those things just make it a little bit difficult. I'm not sure if it's a really good experience. Anyway, all that aside, what are you pushing around there, Dina? She's found an empty can and she's pushing it around the floor. So we've got a few stories to go through, and I'll start with this one, which I think is sort of quite, well, concerning. And this is reported, I think it's in the Daily Mail. British family offers a reward for their 17-year-old boy to be detained on site after he went missing in Thailand's Sin City, Pattaya, famed for its round-the-clock sex industry. So it's somewhat of an editorial as well as, anything else. So let's just see what's happening with this story. A worried family have offered a reward to find and detain on site a British teenager who went missing in Pattaya. Ryan White, who's 17, from Gateshead, arrived in the capital Bangkok on May the 12th, but has since lost contact with relatives. How and why he's travelling to Bangkok as a minor, I'm not particularly sure. Fearing for the teenager's safety, his family have taken to social media asking friends to help find him. And they've offered 10,000 baht. Only 10,000 baht? It's around about £234 apparently. There he is. And in a Facebook post, his aunt said reward of 10,000 baht for detaining Ryan on site and calling the police. And she said, unfortunately, due to having an 18-month-old, I have had to return home to the UK, so maybe the family were in Thailand. We will have family returning over ASAP, though, and this post will be updated as and when. This is my nephew, Ryan White. He's been missing since February the 12th of May. And she said he took a flight to Bangkok, and we're currently aware that he's staying somewhere in the Pattaya community. His whereabouts were known until the evening of Sunday the 14th, a bit further down there. And Ryan, if you read this, please come home. Nothing you could do or say would ever change how loved you are, nor how worried we are for your safety and well-being. And the Facebook post has been shared almost 900 times as people offered their support. Bit of an interesting sort of story. I haven't read any updates to this. I had a quick look this morning, so not exactly sure what's happening with Ryan White, if he's still floating around Pattaya. Certainly if you are in what the Daily Mail has described as Sin City, you might like to pass that information on to the police. I imagine that they are probably looking for him. He is 17 years old, and we should be taking this story deadly seriously, because he shouldn't be wandering around, well, anywhere in Thailand by himself. So I thought that was interesting, though, that they were offering 10,000 baht. Not sure if it was meant to be 10,000 pounds as a reward. Anyway, there you go. That story from the Daily Mail. I'd like to say hello to everybody who's online, and again, apologies for our false start this morning. Well, there she is in the background there, just having a bit of a happy time this morning. You right there, Dina? Just enjoy yourself. And I think she's chasing the new cat, Kato. Why not? So, yes, apologise for the false start. Durian says, hello, Shane O. Traveller. Greetings, Bacon Overflow. That's a new one. 4 minutes to go, then I get another Leo. Good morning from Samui, from the Snives. And I suppose a big thank you to all those people who have been with us on these Saturday morning programs regularly for the past, well, I don't know, I think we've done them for about 5 or 6 months, maybe longer. And I will be doing some live programs. It might be that I end up doing one of the weekday programs live each week. So we're not going to stop doing live programs completely. I mean, you are very important. I wouldn't exist doing this program unless I had listeners, and I want to engage with you. Just for the Saturday mornings, I've got some other ideas. And the other thing is that, I just sort of am trying to reclaim my weekends a little bit. We've got our Grumpy Old Men program as well on Saturdays. Anything could happen. Question from Ben Hayes. Hi, Ben. How's your book writing? Have you got an ISBN for your book? Ben, you're going to have to explain ISBN. ISBN. Something to do with a publisher? I don't know. Could you explain? I'm happy to answer the question, Ben. I just don't fully understand it. Hi, Bill and Nong Wua So. You've been with us, I think, on every program. He says, my Thai wife got up at 5:30 feeding cows and looking at the farm in Nong Wai. So I have. The Snives, beautiful morning in Crystal Bay, apparently in Samui. Stephen Jones, good morning from sunny Townsville in Thailand. And just moving on, Scott D. Hi, Scott. Understand you're coming to Thailand. I did get your email and I will attempt to answer your questions, although I'm probably not the best travel agent here in Phuket. I'll do my best to answer them. I'll do that probably over the weekend, Scott. Franco7 says, hello, JS in Melbourne, blah, blah, blah. Great to have you with us. Don't pull the cat's tail. I didn't pull the cat's tail. I don't pull cat's tails. Hi, Dina. You're not in frame just as well. She's behind the chair. She knows how to keep out a shot. I feel the live videos should be shortened and uploaded with timestamps to make it digestible for people with less time and can't watch 20 minutes plus of the re-upload. Look, timestamps, I understand, are a great asset for the viewer. For me, they do take a bit of time to do. I try and do them on the weekday programs, absolutely. I've also noticed that they don't add any additional viewers to the program, so it doesn't seem to help with SEO or anything else in YouTube. So timestamps are one of those things where they are a bit of a time consumption for me, but I understand during at least the weekday shows that they can help people wade through the parts of the stories that they're interested in. But for a solo YouTuber, a one-man band, timestamps are just one of those things that sort of add to the workload. Just explaining, not making, I suppose I am making excuses. A question from Carlita. Question, what was Abel, the girl you had on a show about 4 years ago? I think that's about 2 years ago. She had her own business. Was it How to Learn Thai? I forgot. That's Abel Wanamacock, and she's still in Phuket. She does emceeing and some sort of counselling. Abel is still around. She's still on YouTube. She's still on Facebook. And I'm sure if you type in Abel, You're the Voice or Your Voice or something like that. Abel's a great lady and enjoyed working with her for a time on the Good Morning Thailand program. Clive Baxter says International Standard Book Number. Okay, thank you, Clive. I haven't written a book. I have started to write a book a few times. I keep on threatening that I'll write a book. It's going to be called Life at 50 Kilometres an Hour. sort of referring to riding a motorcycle around Thailand, because if you live in Thailand, most of us at some stage do get around on a scooter, being as careful as we can, of course, wearing a helmet and just keeping out of trouble. But I haven't started writing the book. Thank you, Clive, for explaining that. If I do write a book, it's probably going to end up more of a YouTube book, more of a sort of an extended podcast or series, because I think that is just a better way to communicate in 2023. The days of printed media, they're still going to happen, but the impact and the reach that you get with the printed word these days is quite different from the past. And we now have these new ways to communicate. And I'll probably, if I do something, Clive, it would be in relation to the new media, I would have thought. KJ says, Grumpy Old Men would be a fun live show. Yeah, Steve live. Whew. Look, we might be able to try it one day. We'll see. We even when I arrived the other day to record tomorrow's program, there was a live audience there. There was 4 people that had dropped in to catch up with Steve, and they were saying they were going to hang around and watch the show. But Steve said, no, I don't do it in front of an audience. So it looks like if we do a live show, there won't be an audience there. Good morning from sunny Melbourne, 10 degrees, says Robbie. And we had some questions come in during the week, which we'll get onto in just a moment, if I can find them. Let's see how I go in that regard. Finding the questions from the week. Here we go. So we had some questions during the week, and I'll do my best to get through these. From CP57, when do you plan to start construction of your new hotel? Thank you for taking us along with you as you embark on this journey. So we're not building a hotel, it's actually an existing property. It was never built as a hotel, it was really built as a very large house. Now in coming weeks and months, you are going to see more of this particular establishment as we start doing these sort of a weekly 10-15 minute update, because there are so many aspects, believe me, in starting something new, starting a new business. There's a full makeover of this property, and not just painting a wall and buying a couple of new cups. We're talking about a massive and expensive makeover. So I thought I'd take you through that journey piece by piece, whether we're going to use this space for a new cafe or a new restaurant, the paperwork we have to go through, how you get everything legal, what foreigners can do, what foreigners can't do, the sort of staff I'm going to need. So all those things I think will be quite interesting, and we're going to do that as a regular Saturday morning update. But it won't be live. We might even do it live every now and then. There's some things that I can't disclose in doing that for privacy reasons. I mean, at the end of the day, I've got to try and protect and keep confidential some of the items, so it won't be just a completely no holes barred, this is every single detail, but I'll do my best to answer questions and to bring you up to date with the progress of that project. So it's already underway, and I've already got one staff, a sort of a project manager, if you like, working, and we hope to open the establishment in September. Jeju Do, you going to China soon, Tim? Starting Tim's China Adventures? Not that I know of. Somebody says, I'm hungry, Tim, what shall I eat? Depends the time of day, it's sort of up to you. I'd use Food Panda. Arthur Lee, I'm considering retiring in Thailand. Given the choice between a house or a condo, one that I would purchase, not rent, what are the carrying costs of both? If you're making the purchase of a property, you are going to have to pay a certain range of taxes. You're going to have to pay a commission to the real estate agent. In Thailand, some of those commissions can be up to 10%. Real estate commissions in Thailand are ridiculously high in pretty much of an unregulated industry. Personally, I don't recommend buying in Thailand, but if you do want to, I'd make sure you get on the side of a qualified and somebody you trust and recommended lawyer. Somebody that knows property conveyancing and has done lots of work for foreigners in the past. Because owning especially a house and a property in Thailand as a foreigner is not particularly transparent. You can't own the title, you can't actually own the land, and there are workarounds, there are long-term leases, there are forming a Thai business that can own the property, but you can only own 49% of that business, that company, in most cases, but not all. That's why you need somebody who can answer all those questions and have a good look at your personal situation and give you the best advice. But there are costs involved with buying a property, a condo or a house, and you need to be made aware of those costs. Depending on who you are and where you buy and what you buy will also impact on those costs. So I can't give you a clean answer, Arthur, but hopefully the suggestion to find a good property lawyer is about the best advice I could give. Oi Watters, or Waters? Are you planning to stay in Thailand long term and doing an excellent job you're doing now? Secretly hoping you'd say yes. Oi, my intention is to stay in Thailand for the rest of my life. I love living in Thailand. There are a million little annoyances, but that happens everywhere. But all the big picture stuff, the lifestyle, the weather, the cost of living, the quality and availability of good, fresh food, all those things are tick, 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 tick. So I'll be staying in Thailand. In fact, as you know, I've just launched this new business and I'll be signing a long-term lease to operate that business. So that is part of my intention to stay living in Thailand. My light is flashing. The vacuum's going upstairs. The cat's gone. Warren Williams, no. Talking about will I be doing the Saturday morning programs live in the future? He says, no. As a long-time supporter, this is a poor decision. Saturday is a great opportunity for fans to interact. Weekday is a great opportunity for bite-sized news. Look, I get that. At the end of the day, I have to do the thing that's right for me for a change. And if it means that I'm not doing a live program on Saturdays, well, so be it. I just can't do everything, and I need to put a certain amount of time into my new business. But be assured, I'll still keep doing the weekday programs, and I'll make sure there are opportunities for some live interaction from time to time, Warren. These are questions that were fielded in the last couple of days before the live stream. I'll get back to the live stream questions and comments in just a moment. Dave Minner says, brave man, I'm not sure why. Oh dear, Aussie Bob, you've given a great long dissertation about what's happening with the Thai government and the formation of a new coalition. I have a few questions. I don't think you do have questions. I think you just laid out what you think is going to happen with the new coalition. So what do you have any questions? No, you don't actually have any questions. So I read what you said, Aussie Bob. I take it on board, and thank you for your predictions on what's going to happen. Aussie Bob said, on another point, yes, the election and its outcomes are extremely important to many expats who either live in Thailand and are planning to move there. Maybe the 2-week short trippers don't care, but we do. So, yeah, some people complaining that the election coverage during the week was unnecessary, but these governments do decide on immigration policy, taxes, import taxes, things like arrival tax, departure taxes. These are all made by government. So depending on who gets into government, it does actually have an impact on you. Takis Mars. Okay, hi Tim. I've been in a same-sex marriage with a Thai national for the last 12 years. We've been together for nearly 20 years and currently live in London. We have a condo in Bangkok and we'd like to move there permanently in the near future. My question is Every time same-sex marriage is proposed in Thailand, there's a change of government and nothing ever gets done. I don't know much about Thai politics and would like to know if you think the Move Forward Party is likely to be in favour of allowing same-sex marriage or civil partnerships. It would obviously help with obtaining a visa. I'm not sure if it would actually help in obtaining a visa. I mean, obviously your Thai national partner can just come back into Thailand. If you're thinking that if you are legally married in the eyes of the Thai government, whether the fact that you're married to a Thai would help with a visa, well, that sort of situation hasn't even been decided yet. Just speaking sort of from the top looking down, well, I suppose you could call them the caretaker government or the past conservative government, was proposing civil partnerships and then an intention to extend that to same-sex marriage sometime in the future. I believe that there is currently legislation. It'll be brought up in the new parliament, and I think we'll have at least civil partnerships in Thailand by the end of this year. Move Forward and Per Thai, being the two largest parties in the new parliament, are both in favour of both those. And I think that you'll see some clarification, certainly in the next government, on that issue. How it will actually operate, those details haven't been brought about yet. But I think we will probably have in Thailand civil partnerships by the end of this year and maybe same-sex marriage in the next couple of years. That's just a prediction going on the way that it's been reported in the past. Sing us a song or two, Tim, from My Asia. Probably not. Ken McLaren says, "Hi Tim, with a change in political direction in Thailand, what are your thoughts on the possible changes, oh dear, to LGBTQ legal rights, as in gay marriage, trans identity, equality?" Thanks, Ken. A lot of these things, I'm getting a lot of questions from the LGBTQ community today. A lot of these things, these rights, are not necessarily codified in law, but I think if you come to Thailand, you'll see a quite liberal and accepting approach to people who are gay, lesbian, or transgender. Even situations like the ladyboys are usually given generally a pretty good run, and people don't bat an eyelid. It just doesn't bother them. And the only people that seem to sort of get into trouble with the transgender community tend mostly to be foreigners. And that's partly the problem with the transgender community in some areas in Thailand, Pattaya, who target foreigners in different ways. So, yeah, look, I think you'll find even if some of these things aren't codified in law, there's general acceptance towards people who are LGBTQ. Hopefully that might help, Ken. And finally, from Mango Sticky Rice, what is your favourite type of Thai massage and why? How much baht did you pay? I don't usually like massages generally. I think the last massage I had would have been 3 or 4 years ago. I don't have Thai massages regularly. I don't like the sort of the touchy, squeeze. I like a good firm Thai massage if I have one at all. I certainly haven't had any happy endings. Just the feeling you get after having a rigorous Thai massage is enough for me. But I'm not a huge fan of Thai massages. I think I paid about 300 baht last time. I don't even know what the going rate is. Let's see if our commenters can provide some information. So we go back to the live feed and we'll get back to your comments. Hans Rowe said the High Court ruled out same-sex marriage in December 2021. Since then, there have been several efforts for a legal change. Let's see what happens. Yeah, I think, Hans, it was sort of a chicken and egg. The High Court jumped in and ruled when the government hadn't even attempted to pass any legislation at the time. So I think this needs to be run from the government end and then let the Constitutional or High Court sort of respond to that. Scott D says, please consider smashing the thumbs up button. Oh, we've got some very kind good heavens, I missed these. Donations, I will address these immediately. From Luke Manton. Thank you very much, Luke. That's extremely generous and much appreciated. Goodness gracious. Tim, you'll need this for Grumpy Old Men Censor if you go live. It would be great. Luke, I'll do my best. The thing is, I'm probably going to have to go up to Thai Muang because Steve doesn't like coming to Phuket. And I'm not sure what his 5G's like up there. I think it's pretty good. But Luke, I'll do my best, and thank you very much for your very kind donation. Eileen Morris, thank you. Oh my goodness, that's extremely generous of you, and much appreciated, Eileen. If you've got a question or any comments you'd like me to address, I'll certainly do so. JS in Melbourne, good luck with the new Tim Newton Towers. Thank you very much, JS in Melbourne. That's very, very generous of you and appreciated. Look, we do have a name for the new place, and it probably won't be much of a surprise. I think I gave out a name a few weeks ago, but we've changed it since then, and we've settled on this new name. But I suppose until we actually, well, the company's registered, but the company isn't the name of the hotel. Until the actual signs go up, I suppose we can change until then. But we're pretty settled on this new name, and it reflects... No, I'm not going to say anything. We'll see how we go. Scott D, love and support of the channel speaks for itself. It has been gratifying and quite humbling over the past 6 months, the way people have sort of supported the channel. I've sort of tried to reinvent what I do with news. I try and do a quick update with the news each day. Things like Grumpy Old Men, things like the Saturday Morning Live program. These are just things that we try, we do our best, we hope that they work, and we move on. Not everything is going to last forever. There'll be some stage down the track where I'll have to stop doing the weekday program. I don't envisage that at the moment, but at some stage, time is going to catch up with me, and I'll have to stop doing it. But my intention is to do it for the next, I don't know, 5 or 10 years at least. Okay. Billy Burry Baps. It's the Rocket Festival in town this weekend. Bang Phai. If you don't like noise, stay away. Something Phetchaburi Province. Bang Phai. The Rocket Festival. There is annually the Yasathorn Rocket Festival. I think it is this time of the year. You're right. There is an excellent Netflix show that's on at the moment called The Rocket Angels. It's very funny. It's in Thai. It's a Thai movie. The Rocket Angels. But it's got subtitles. And it's set in Yasathorn during the Rocket Festival. I won't say much more, but it's quite entertaining and, sort of silly Thai humour. It's good fun if you want something a bit entertaining and a bit of a digression. But yeah, the Yasathorn Rocket Festival, and there's other rocket festivals held at this time of the year, mostly up in the Isan region, the northeast of Thailand. It's basically when communities together and groups of people, mostly drunk men, the idea is to build a rocket that can go the highest in the sky. And there's TNT and gunpowder and PVC tubing and bamboo tubing, and I'm not sure if there's many rules, but usually a few people lose a limb or two. There's a lot of music, parades, a lot of drinking, and a few rockets go off. Some of them even get off the ground. Some of them reach up 100 meters into the sky. And I'm pretty sure that when NASA decided they were going to go to the moon, they consulted the community of Yasathorn about how to build rockets. My goodness, it's an amazing thing. If you type in Yasathorn Rocket Festival, Thailand, into your Google machine, you really need to see some. did a YouTube at the last place program all about the Yasathorn Rocket Festival, but I don't know. I can't easily jump on the web at the moment without sort of disrupting things. So it's definitely on this time of the year because they use the Rocket Festival to break the clouds and bring on the rain. Kenny N. Subic, do you think the new government will stop the sale of marijuana? Well, as I've been quite consistent about this, the move forward and the Pattaya party have in their manifestos that they will continue with a decriminalisation of cannabis, but they will recriminalise the recreational or public use of cannabis. So I think what you'll see is there will be a cannabis bill, depending on how the coalition falls together, particularly if the Pumjai Thai party are needed. At the moment, they have not been included in any coalition. They're the party pushing for sort of a more open use of cannabis in Thailand. But the way things are falling together at the moment, particularly if the senators are involved, I think you'll see that there will be a tightening up of the current situation, which at the moment is, well, I think you could say it's completely lawless and people just doing exactly what they want, and the police aren't able to crack down because there are no specific guidelines or laws relating to the completely unfettered use of cannabis in Thailand. So I think you will see a not so much a crackdown, but there will be a reduction in those open cannabis rules, and things like public or retail sales of cannabis, I'm sure, will be stopped, and that the medicinal use of cannabis will be used or encouraged in the future. And thank you very much to Scott D. Thank you very much for your kind and generous support there, Scott. He says, greetings from Chicago to Sean of 5 Star Marine, with gratitude for his ongoing support of your channel and for his generous charity support during the pandemic to the people in need. 5 Star Marine, there we go. Yes, they have been sponsors of the program since day one, and it's been great to have them on board. And I understand Scott and his family will be heading out with 5 Star Marine when they come to Phuket. I think it's in July. Just remembering that sort of July to October are the wettest months, so you'll need to pick your day and pick your weather. But even during the wet season, there's still plenty of opportunities to get out to the islands, and a lot of people prefer going out to the islands at this time of the year. It's a little bit cooler, and the islands are a little bit quieter. So it's still a great time, if you pick your weather, to head out to the islands. And this time of the year, usually I'd leave it to your tour guide. Rather than saying, I want to go to this island or this island, they would recommend a place depending on the weather on the day. Thank you, Scott, very much for your kind support there. Let's move on to other comments in our comment section today. Geezer, as to Aussie pensions, they won't stop a law. Your pension is guaranteed wherever you are. Oh, pensions, as particularly from Australia, is a really vexed and complicated question. I'm not eligible to get a pension with my current situation. I'm not even going to start on it. You need some expert advice, and you need to speak to, well, probably the Australian, who are the people that hand out the pensions, the Australian Pension Department or whatever they're called. I had some conversations with them about 2 or 3 years ago, and it was clear to me that I was never going to get a pension here in Thailand from the Australian government unless I made a complete reversal of a whole lot of current situations. So, I'm here fending for myself without the help of my home government, even though I paid taxes, a lot of taxes, in Australia for the first 50-odd years of my life. Anyway, that's the situation. Alex Adam, if I'm wrong on pensions, I could not be happier because that's what I was told until now. I missed out on this conversation. Sorry, everybody. A question from John's Journeys. Hi, John's Journeys. Will the new government change the opening and closing times of entertainment venues like Walking Street? I don't think any of them have addressed things like opening and closing times, and nothing's been published. I haven't seen anything on their specific manifestos regarding opening and closing times. As you know, in many of these busy areas, the opening and closing times are quite capricious, quite random, and partly involved with the official closing time and then the closing time that you might be able to negotiate with your local constabulary, depending on the size of brown paper bags. You know what we're talking about. Mr. I don't even know how to pronounce that, but you know who I'm talking about. Any update on Caitlin in Tampa? He'd be referring to Caitlin Ainsworth? Caitlin, who used to work with me at Tiger. She was my main writer for the English part of the news. She headed back to America early last year. I see her on Facebook from time to time. I haven't had a sort of an extensive conversation, but she's working for a publication in Florida. And as far as I know, she's living life, enjoying her new job. And I'm sure she's one of those sort of people that would enjoy coming back to Thailand in the future. If I hear any more, I'll bring you up to date. You have to be 67 to get old age pension in Australia, says Ross Jureka. Yes, you have to be 67, and there is some qualification, some of which may involve being in Australia for at least 2 years before they give you the pension. But there are so many variables depending on your personal situation, I can't possibly address that at the moment. Where's this one? Frank in Thailand, 10 euros. Frank, thank you so much for your very kind and generous support. Says thank you for the live shows, really enjoyed them. Frank, I can guarantee we'll be doing some in the future. It just won't be a regular Saturday morning thing as I reclaim my Saturday mornings. But thank you very much for your kind generosity, much appreciated. Oh my God, please stop everybody, it's getting a bit embarrassing. The Snives, my fiance loves the show, always great content. What is your fiance's name? The Snives, we'd like to know. But thank you very, very much for your kind generosity. It is appreciated. What else do we have here? Question. It's a real shame these live shows are ending, but it does mean we go to bed before the sun rises on Saturday morning, depending on where you are. Scott D says, I was a big fan of Caitlin Ashworth. Thank you very much, Scott. It was Caitlin Ashworth. No more pensions. Will you be in charge of the... Nong Wua So says, will you be in charge of the pool in your hotel? I'll be in charge of everything. I'll be a benign dictator. There'll be no elections at my hotel. I'm in charge because I sign the checks. I will have a manager, and I'll try and make sure I have a life, but I'll be pretty hands-on for the first year, maybe longer, and I'll enjoy greeting guests, maybe picking them up at the airport, being a full hands-on hotel manager. I've got a lot to learn, and I'll be open to suggestions, and I'll try and make sure that I'm there to pick up things as they fall over. I might have to change a bed, I might have to scrub a toilet, I might have to pick up plates, I might have to wash a few plates. But I'm happy to do all that sort of stuff, including the pool. Now, we will have somebody looking after the pool, but if I need to get the net out and scrape out a few leaves, I'll be happy to do so. I won't be doing it in my Speedos, however. We want to encourage guests, not scare them away. Mikey, like Thailand, do you think Prayut Chan-o-cha will retire from the United Nations Party in September? What's happening in September? If you mean after the votes have been cast and the new parliament is settled and he's not part of it, well, he didn't run as an MP, for example. He was just nominated as a prime ministerial candidate. So if he doesn't get the chance to stand or be voted in as prime minister, then his role in politics is pretty much over. And I think he will retire. I mean, he's been pulling the levers in the Thai government for the past 9 years, and I think he's probably done enough. A lot of people will be happy to see the end of him. And I think for conservative politics, it'll be time for some younger people to step up. Now, the three generals that have been the sort of the triad that have been running Thai politics for those past 9 years, General Anapong, General Prayut, General Prawit. General Prawit, we've heard really nothing from since the election. Will he retire? I don't know. General Anupong has said he is going to retire. And General Prayut has not really said anything on that matter yet, except to congratulate Thais after the election, and he congratulated the winners. So I think a lot of questions on that matter, and as this horse trading continues over the next couple of months and some sort of coalition is formed, we might know more about the fate of the generals and the conservative side of politics. But certainly with Pattaya and the Move Forward Party getting such a high amount of MPs into the new parliament, it's difficult to see many of these current conservatives sticking around. They'll need to stand aside as they sort of reinvent themselves for the future. Right. Gruntmax, you will not get a work permit for cleaning the toilets at your hotel. Gruntmax, I'm not going to tell anybody. I'll just do it. Sharon, g'day from Queensland, Australia. What will your room rate be, and what is premises name going to be? Where will we be able to book? Okay, so the room rates, well, it's not going to be a cheap hotel. It's pretty much a luxury hotel. Hotel's probably not the right word. It would be operated more like a guest house than a hotel, sort of somewhere between the way an Airbnb might operate and a hotel. The old hotel model has got some big challenges, and I think people who stick to the old hotel model of pre-COVID are going to really struggle in the future. People are looking for new experiences now. That's become very evident to me over the past couple of years whilst I've been researching this particular project. So the room rates, they're not going to be, I think the cheapest room's about 3,000 baht a night. But the rooms, I mean, they're huge. They're not little like 30 square metre hotel rooms. They're all like 50 or 60 metres in size. Many have got kitchens. They've all got amazing views out to Phang Nga Bay. And it's not a cheap establishment. As to what it's going to be called, watch this space. And what was the other question? Where will we be able to book? You'll be able to book on all the main platforms, and we'll also have a website where you'll be able to book. All I can say is watch this space. When it all happens, you will definitely know, including if you watch those Saturday morning programs, which are going to be a sort of a hack job at a makeover program. But a lot of these, like these programs you see on Netflix where they make over a program, make over a hotel or make over a room, they film the whole thing and they know the outcome and they know the problems they had, and then they write the narrative and they record the script and they edit it. I'm doing it the other way around, where you're going to see all those problems in sort of real time, and the way that I'm struggling to solve problems, the things that work, the things that don't work, and the reversals of decisions. And we'll do that every week as an update, and you'll be able to go on that journey. And after 3 months, we'll sort of get to the end of that process and hopefully open the hotel. That may not happen. There may be delays. I can't even imagine at the moment. So I think that could be a quite interesting approach. So hopefully that answers some of your questions. Pick up from the airport in your Merc. Yeah, we've got the Mercedes there, and VIP guests, we will certainly pick them up at the airport. We're not going to arrive at the taxi area. We'll go to the public parking area where we pay, and then we'll go and meet them, and we're picking them up as private citizens. And there's nothing wrong with that. Other people, they can book a taxi if they want, and that's fine too. Is each room more like a fully furnished apartment? Yes, KJ. Really nicely appointed. In fact, I went to an auction not so much an auction, but there was an old business where I had actually a bit of involvement, and they were selling up some of their furnishings, and I knew that they were quality furnishings. So I got down there early and I bought about 6 items, including a great big refrigerator, which will be perfect for my resort, which hasn't been used for about 4 or 5 years. It's in really good condition, and I got that for a great price along with some quite nice pieces. So it's going to be a fully... They're not hotel rooms. You can look at them as you're sort of going to be staying in a really nicely furnished apartment with great amenities and some great services. You want to go here or there, we'll tell you the best way to go there. We'll organise it for you. So there's a great... what do they call a great concierge type service that's built into the whole model. How many floors will it be? Well, it's across about 3 stories. It's on a hillside, so it sort of meanders up the hillside, and it covers 3 stories. I'm happy with a hammock and a beer in my hand, says Sticky Rice. We'll have hammocks, and we'll have beers as well. BYD wants to sell 3 million cars this year. Good that you did not get one of the so many. Well, Alpha Bravo, I may still get an electric car in the future. It's just that at the time and at this time, getting something a little bit original, like a 1980 pale blue Mercedes-Benz, to pick up my guests for my new hotel venture was a greater priority. My old Honda I'm going to be using to rent out to guests if they want a nice modern contemporary car, and we can rent that out to people as one of the services we provide at the hotel. Sticky Rice says, peace, love and unity to everybody. Sticky Rice, thank you very much. Pattaya, Kun Tim, I will work for you for free. I'm 61, lost flying job, now back in Bangkok. Pattaya, thank you very much for your offer. As you know, we sort of have to run this establishment legally, and there are probably going to be more eyeballs on what I do than would normally happen. So I've got to make sure I cross my T's and dot my I's and make sure I do everything properly, and that'll include things like work permits. I mean, I'm not necessarily going to be working there on a day-to-day basis. I'll probably be living there, and I might just be one of the guests with my eyes open. Gunnar Hopstead says, looking forward to the first to book a room and be picked up in the Mercedes-Benz. We look forward to you coming there. Not going to be open until September. It'll be a bit of a soft opening, probably the latter part of September, and then we'll be getting into the full swing in October, November, hopefully ready for the 2023 high season. Will you hire Steve Ross to decorate the hotel, says Jim L. No. I love Steve, love him to death. Been to his house many, many times. Decoration in his house is probably, Steve, I love you, it's not your strong suit, okay? A great props guy on movies, can't be denied. But decor for his personal space is eclectic, okay? I think I could say eclectic. And his dress sense is Tesco, I think we could probably define. So, no, Steve, he'll be a welcome guest. He'll certainly be invited to the opening night. And I know exactly what he's going to wear. And it should be fun. Will it be guest friendly? Will it be guest friendly? Of course it'll be guest friendly. What do you mean by that? Yeah, we're going to try and make sure people who come along have an outstanding experience beyond what you may have got in a hotel in the past. I mean, this place is not near Patong. It's a half-hour ride from our hotel to Patong. It's not on a beach. It's very quiet. It's got an astounding view. So it's about having a break. It's about peace and quiet. It's about sucking the marrow out of life rather than going to Bangalore Road. So it's a different experience that we're going to be offering. I'm pretty sure people are going to enjoy it, but no, some people put Steve on reception. Not a chance. Oh dear, it would be a Faulty Towers if we did that. Sign your own guest book. You want an invoice? Go and print it out yourself. Live jazz music, please. Yeah, probably not going to have just music blaring out around the hotel. If we establish a cafe or a restaurant, we might have some music in there, but we're not going to have piped music playing around the hotel. A lot of people will enjoy the fact that they can come and just soak in some fresh air and some Thai sunshine. On one side, we've got this magnificent view of Phang Nga Bay, and when we look behind, we've just got hundreds of meters of virgin jungle behind us, full of tigers and elephants and all sorts of other lies I can make up. Why am I not seeing any of the questions he's reading? Including yours? I don't know. I'm just reading off my screen. Kun Tim has a resort. Can I apply for customer service position? Pretty please, says Pat Thai. Pat Thai, you're going to have to send me an email. We'll have a chat. Will it be guest friendly? Bob B, I don't quite understand why you asked that. Might as well close this top chat. The Tim Newton's Gravity Hotel. Oh, I get it. Nah, we're not going to use that name, but thanks for the suggestion. Will your hotel have dual pricing? Yes, Thai people will pay twice as much as foreigners. No, we won't have dual pricing. I'm sort of ambivalent about dual pricing. I can see there are cases where it might be valid, and there are certain situations where it's not valid. But as far as my establishment's concerned, there will certainly not be any dual pricing. I missed that one. Where is it? Oh, I'm just going back. Did I miss any of those super chats? Sorry, just scrolling back through the things. I addressed that. Snipes, you didn't tell me, or did you tell me your partner's name? Tim, do you think I've addressed that? Hotel called Faulty Towers or Wits End. Yeah, look, if I was the actual manager at the reception, I'm sure I would be a bit like Basil Faulty. But I'll have other things to do, sort of in the background. Question, what is the resort hotel, when is the hotel due to open? September, sometime during September. Picturing Tim as the hotel manager from White Lotus. Don Bennett, I haven't seen White Lotus. I've read a lot about it. I think I'd enjoy it. I think they're talking about filming a series of White Lotus here. I don't know much about it, but now that you've said that, I'm going to have to watch it and check out the hotel manager. Sticky Rice, come on, Budgie Smuggler is always the way. No, I will not be wearing... and Hans Schellenberg suggesting a Borat mankini for me to clean the pool. Neither of those are going to happen. I'm getting through as many of these as I can. Kun Tim, I work for you for free. I've done that one. Can you remind us, after a career in media, you're now branching into resorts, hotels. What inspired the move? Asks Warren Williams. Look, I suppose I see my trips around the sun as a finite situation, and I've got less years ahead of me than I have behind me, and I'm hoping to make every single day a good one. And I hope to do something useful every day that I'm here, and I'm still fit and well. I believe I've got at least one more project ahead of me. That's going to be the hotel. Why? Because I've always wanted to do it. I've never actually done it. I know a lot of people in the industry. I've sort of been moving around outer parts of the hospitality industry for many years. And after seeing the movie The Best Exotic Marigold Hotel, I decided I'm going to look for an establishment and I'm going to start a hotel. Now, that was aimed at sort of retirees moving to a foreign country. This hotel is not going to be just for foreigners, and it's not going to be for retirees, although foreign retirees are very welcome to come and stay. But that was the original movie that inspired me to go down this track. So what inspired the move? I suppose just ambition. I also need to build up my bank balance for the day that will come up at some stage where I'll retire or I'll slow down and I want to spend some money. And I don't have much of that at the moment, but that which I've got, I'm putting into this hotel. So I'm making sure I do all my homework to make sure that I give it the best chance of working that I possibly can. Hopefully that answers the question. Why is that light going bright, dark, bright, dark? Gunnar said, looking forward to be the first one. Will you hire Steve Ross to decorate the hotel? No, we've addressed that one. Moving on to some other questions. Can you see the sea from your place? Oh, yes. It's got sweeping views across Phang Nga Bay. Now, I actually figured out the islands that it looks out towards. But you can see Krabi in the background, and then there's a couple of the Phang Nga Bay islands in the foreground. But, oh, yes, you can definitely see the sea from the hotel. Tim, with the investment in the resort venture, are you somewhat confident of recovery in the tourism sector next year? A great question, KJ. All we can hope for is... I'll get to that in a moment. All I can hope for is that the tourist industry continues to improve. The way that we're going to be marketing the hotel, it's not going to be so much tourism industry dependent, although of course we will be part of the Phuket and Thai tourism industries infrastructure generally, but we're going to have marketing arms, including these programs, where we'll be able to tell people about what we're doing and sort of paint a bit of a picture, be able to do live programs from there, so you can sort of have a live look around. So there's going to be other ways that we're going to be marketing the hotel besides just people blindly going into bookings.com and going, Phuket, what hotels, budget, blah, blah, blah. So we're going to try and make ourselves a little bit tourism industry proof. So if there is another Black Swan event, if there's another COVID-19, and ultimately there will be at some stage down the track. So, yeah, we've also got ideas if that happens. Apologies for this light going bright. The globe might be on the way out. What's this? Warren Williams. Warren, thank you very, very much. That is very, very generous of you. Thanks for your Saturday lives. May the next adventures be successful, fruitful ones. Many thanks, Warren. And thanks to you, Warren. Much appreciated for your kind generosity there. How about Tim being a trolley dolly? I've never really had much interest in working behind the cockpit in an aircraft. I had aspirations to be an airline pilot when I was younger. I remember the specific flight and roughly where I was sitting. I was sitting on the right side of the aircraft. It was a BOAC VC-10, and we were flying back from Heathrow to Australia. There were 7 stops along the way, including Dubai, Brisbane, somewhere in Asia. I can't even remember where it was at the time. And I decided then I was going to be a pilot. I told my parents and they went, oh, that's nice, Tim. I was 6 years old at the time. And I did eventually get a pilot's license, which I've still got a pilot's license. And but that I've never had any aspirations to work behind the cockpit door. So no. Will the Russian tourists invade your hotel? I don't think they'll invade the hotel. We'll have security. If they want to come and stay at the hotel, of course, they'll be welcome. My Russian is not very good. In fact, it's non-existent. So we'll have to barge through the sort of language gap. But yeah, Russian people will be welcome at my hotel. The Queensland Tiger has a question. How far is it to the nearest swimming beach? The hotel. Okay, so it's going to take you about swimming beach. Look, it's to be honest, it's going to take you about half an hour to get to a good swimming beach. Maybe about 20 minutes to half an hour. Yeah, I'll be able to drive you there. Yeah, it's sort of in the middle of the island, and the way the roads are around there, it's going to take you about 20 minutes to half an hour. I'd probably recommend going to like Bang Tao Beach might be the closest and best swimming beach I can take you to. There are also some swimming beaches on the east side of the island at Kossere. There's 2 or 3 really nice swimming beaches, and they may take only 20 minutes to get to. My experience owning real estate in Thailand, you can own a condo but not land. How getting around the law? This is from Ross Kennedy. Yes, you can have freehold in a condo. You can't own land, but there are workarounds so that you can have some sort of ownership of the land whilst not necessarily owning it. But I would recommend that you speak to a property lawyer. Don't speak to a real estate agent about it. They'll only tell you, just give me 5 seconds, just grab your cup up. I'm going to give the light a bit of a twiddle so it stops flashing. Hopefully that helps. I'm back. Yeah, don't speak to a real estate agent. They will only tell you what they want you to hear to make sure that you buy a property, but you can't actually own the land. There are some conditions, some situations where you can own the land, but you need to speak to a property lawyer. Don't ask that question of a real estate agent. What is the story on overstayers? I have a friend been there for a long time. Good question. Let's go to that and I'll find the story that I did. Here we go. Oh dear, it doesn't work, so I've got to press that. Here we go. From ASEAN Now, Thai Immigration Bureau intensifies crackdown on overstaying foreigners. In their most recent effort to crack down on overstaying foreigners, the Thai Immigration Bureau delivered a robust display of enforcement. From May the 4th to May the 13th, well today is May the 20th, the Immigration Bureau apprehended a total of 1,272 overstaying foreigners. This number marks a remarkable increase of 62% in comparison to previous data. The Immigration Bureau has been relentless in its mission to enforce immigration laws and regulations to deter overstaying. The Bureau has been employing stricter measures and penalties for overstayers. This includes a ban from re-entering Thailand for a certain period, depending on the length of the overstay. Well, I think those penalties have been in place for quite a time. I don't know if they've been extending those penalties, but yes, there are penalties if you do overstay. Moving forward, the Bureau plans to continue its robust enforcement efforts. It signalled a commitment to invest in technology, training and resources to further enhance its capacity to enforce immigration laws and to ensure the integrity of Thailand's borders. And that story was published in ASEAN Now. So I think if you sort of just think laterally, if you go back 3 or 4 months, we had a lot of both Chinese and Russian people coming into Thailand. For China, they'd reopened their borders, and so that was the sort of the first load of revenge tourists out of China. And then for Russia, of course, they've got a situation where some people are trying to find a safer place to live, or perhaps avoid being conscripted to fight in a situation they don't want to be involved in, or whatever. So a lot of those people you could suggest have run out of some of their initial visa and extensions, and are now having to either get a long-term visa or have to leave the country. And perhaps some of those, how many? 1,200 272 people are from Russia. So that's the situation there. Can RQ, if you're purchasing a property, not condo through a company, or having it registered in a Thai's name, please talk to your lawyer about getting usufruct status right. Good. Still twiddling. You talking about this? Yeah. Okay. What's the time? Good heavens. 10:13. Time for me to go. Time for you to go. I'll get through 4 more comments and questions because I want to do my best to make sure I address as many things as I can. And do a 30-year lease. Yes. For some properties, if it's on landed property, you can get a 30-year lease, possibly with an option for another 30 plus 30. But they're only options. All you can do is negotiate that first 30-year lease, and hopefully you've got a landlord that'll be prepared to negotiate beyond that 30. But 30 years is a long time. Now, I'm taking a shorter lease than that. I'm not buying this property that I'm going to be running the hotel, guest house, resort, whatever you want to call it. But yes, you can get long leases. Some 30-year leases are certainly available. They have to be registered, and it's quite expensive to register those leases. But those 30-year leases, anything longer than 3 years, has to be registered with the Land Titles Office. I think you need diamond balls to buy a hotel in this economy. Good luck, pal, says Just Derek. Well, I'm not buying a hotel. I'm taking over the lease of a property that I'm turning into a hotel. And I appreciate your concern, but I have been doing a lot of research on this. And I believe I've, as I said earlier, crossed my T's and dotted my I's. And I'm going to take you on the journey so you will pretty much in real time see the successes and the challenges that I face along the way. All week I've seen bad weather and storm warnings, says Cindy Ann's. So far nothing but calm and still. I need to get another app. Greetings from Rayong. Well, yes, we've had a bit of rain here in Phuket this morning, and I think we've seen the start of rain in some parts of the country. Usually the wet season starts in different parts of the country at different times of the year. The Andaman coast and parts of the south of Thailand, usually the first to experience the wet season. Then parts of central and northeast Thailand get the wet season. Then later in the year, parts of the Gulf of Thailand's, like the Suratani coast, Koh Samui, Koh Phangan, they get a wet season in like November and December. So they get it much later in the year. So depending on where you are in the country, the wet season arrives at different times. Bayou Tom on the loose again says, did they kill that nice loophole where you can stay a jillion years, overstay and pay 20,000 baht maximum if you can get to the airport before the cops find you? Yeah, don't overstay your visa. Don't even try it. You're going to be in a world of pain if you get caught overstaying your visa. You will be deported, you will be fined, and you will be banned on coming back to Thailand for a time. Don't just think you can front up at the airport, pay a maximum of 20,000 baht and jump on your plane. That's not going to happen anymore. Rob Roy, question, could you please show us on a map where the project is? Rob, that's one thing that I'm not going to do because I have to protect a certain level of privacy with the new project. I'll sort of show you the general region, but I can't show you exactly where it is on the map. That is just impossible from a legal standpoint at this stage. Yes, guys, hit the like button. Thank you very much. Corey Alpha Bravo, have you an idea about its name? Yes, I've arrived on a name. And you could actually go back to a conversation I had about 15 minutes ago and figure out where I might be getting some of the inspiration. But you'll find out on Saturday mornings when I do these 10-minute updates. You'll find out. Can you not leave if you owe in fines of over 200,000 baht? Can you not leave if you owe fines of over 200,000? I don't know, Chris. If you owe fines to people in Thailand and the police are after you, I dare suggest that you're going to get a bit of a surprise when you try and get through immigration at the airport on your way out. Probably recommend doing something about it before you just roll up at the airport or run to a border. Congratulations, and remember to keep it light and try to enjoy the process. Thanks, Indochina Patriot. I'll do my best, but I do enjoy a challenge. So we'll see what happens. I know there's going to be problems. I've sort of tried to project what those problems are going to be and tried to come up with fixes before we even get there. So that's how prepared I am. Hotel Old Grumpy Men. Well, look, I'm happy for old grumpy men to stay there. I'm happy for young grumpy or non-grumpy people to stay there as well from anywhere in the world. I know several people. That's nice, Chris. The best ever exotic Mary Tim Hotel. Warren, no. Blue Moon Resort. It was going to be called something Blue Moon, but we've moved away from that. So no more Blue Moon. Although you may be able to see a blue moon because the sun rises over Phang Nga Bay at the hotel, and the moon will rise as well over that particular horizon. So we'll get beautiful sunrises and beautiful moon rises. Shotgun under the bed for the trolls. Oh, look, I've thought about that, and we will have a level of security at the hotel, understanding that there are lunatics in this world. That's just a fact of life. Hotel is called number 96. I understand the joke. Thank you very much, Nong Waso. You could call it Boontangs. There's only one Boontangs, and that's up in Tai Mang, so no Boontangs. Sorry to lose you. You'll be too busy to keep the channel going. No, I'll be keeping the channel going. There's no worries about that. It's just that you will be able to watch part of this journey, but I'm certainly still going to be doing the daily news program. Just in the future, I might be doing some of those news programs from the hotel. Okay, that's about it. Blue Lagoon with a Brooke Shields type. Not calling it Blue Lagoon, but I hope there will be some Brooke Shields types turning up. Saw her in an interview the other day. She's still looking very good. She's not a young woman anymore. She was looking great. A smart woman too. Caesar Hotel. Nope. Anyway, don't keep trying to guess because you'll probably be wrong, and I'll tell you eventually. Don't worry, okay? Look, I hope you have... Tim, do you think the online gambling component of the Move Forward Party's manifesto would get through both houses? Yes, I've sort of run out of time to talk about the Move Forward Party. All I can say is on a daily basis, I'm either pessimistic about them pulling together a coalition or more optimistic. Today, I'm sort of more optimistic that the Move Forward Party will be able to form a coalition with the help of enough senators to get them across the 376 mark as far as votes are concerned in a joint sitting. That won't happen for, another 6 or 7 weeks. So you've got another few months to go before we have that vote, and there's a lot of water that can go under the bridge. My feeling today, though, is that it's all heading in the right direction. There's going to be a memorandum of understanding announced along with the conditions for the coalition parties. Obviously, there are some tetchy issues relating to Article 112 of the Constitution, and it may be that Move Forward will have to just backtrack a little bit on their quite hard stance on that particular issue to garner the support of more people in the government to get the vote through. But more about that on the weekday news program. I wish you luck, says Aussie Bob, as we wave you goodbye. Cheerio, toodaloo, bye-bye. Can't remember. I wish oh, the Vera Lynn. Bye you, Tom on the loose again. Actually, he said you cannot leave if fined. Right, good. As you move forward, understandable there is less chat on the Move Forward party. Yeah, look, I mean, the whole election, it happened, well, gee, it wasn't even a week ago. And the situation we're in now is pure sort of speculation. There's going to be stories coming out. Another party joins the coalition and another senator speaks out and Boom Jai Tai is doing this or that. So I think at the moment all we can do really is cool our heels because there's just going to be a lot of negotiations going on for the next 6 or so weeks. So I'm not going to be talking about the election every day unless there's a milestone or a big announcement, because there's just not that much solid stuff happening. And the big story will be when the joint parliament sits, elects a House Speaker, elects a Senate Speaker, and then they vote for a Prime Minister. That's all the big action, and that's a good 6 or even more weeks away at the moment. It won't be until August, I'd say, until that election is held. Tim Tam's Guest House. No, but good idea. Hotel name, Outback in Thailand. Let me tell you, where we are up on the hill in the jungle, not in the outback. Have a great Saturday, everyone, and enjoy the beautiful rain. And with that, Chriso, I thank you very much. I thank everybody for joining in. We won't be doing the regular Saturday live programs anymore, but for those people that have joined in, I've really enjoyed your support, enjoyed the repartee, and enjoyed your company, and the generosity of some of you has been, amazing to me and most appreciated. But we will be doing live programs at some stage. As I said, I'll try and do at least one of the weekday programs live in the future. We'll just see how that maps out. And that's about it. I think I've answered as many questions as I possibly can and read your comments. But have a fantastic Saturday. If you get some rain, good. Wherever you are in the world, enjoy the rest of your Friday night and your Saturday and the rest of the weekend. Tomorrow we've got grumpy old men turning up to turn your life upside down for half an hour or so with Steve Ross. But until then, thanks for watching and appreciate you joining in. We'll see you soon.